Hi, 3 and 4-year-old leaders. We're preparing for March 28th in our series called Because He Lives. This is the week before Easter, and we would typically be celebrating Palm Sunday because today is the Sunday that Jesus would have ridden into town on a donkey. But because we're stretching out this series, today we're going to be talking about Jesus' death and crucifixion. And so what we want kids to see as we talk about this is that Jesus' act of being crucified and dying the way he died was out of complete obedience. And he was the only one who could do that. He was blameless. He had no sin. He had every reason not to do what God needed him to do at that time, but out of complete obedience to God, he laid down his life so that we could have right relationship with God. And so as we talk about this with kids, and this is a dark story, and I know sometimes sharing dark stories with little kids is hard, but they're going to have dark things happen in their life. And they need to know that when those things happen in their life, it's not because God hates them. There were bad things that happened to God's favorite people. And that didn't mean that God hated them. It meant that God needed them to go through that and to be completely obedient to him in the middle of that circumstance. And we can learn from that lesson today as well. So we will talk about that with kids. Some of the activities that you have to do with kids today. You have a bucket full of all kinds of goodies along with your Easter scavenger hunt checklist of things to find. Now, this activity we give to you as a transition to help kids move away from all of the toys in the room to be able to focus on the things that we're learning. And one of the fun ways to do that is to distract them with another fun thing that gets them refocused and more focused on you and not just individual play. So have fun with that activity to do together before you move into watching your video on the Roku or on your DVD, however you use that within your group. After you're done watching that, then you have an activity to do with the kids. You have a page that looks like this and some sidewalk chalk, and the kids can choose their chalk, whatever kind they want. And they're supposed to draw 3 crosses on their hill, just like would have been at Golgotha when Jesus died. And then you have some hairspray there too that you can spray the chalk with before they leave. Just spray it away from kids' faces if you can, so that the chalk doesn't come off on them as they are walking away with their paper at the end of the day. And as you're doing that, we want to help kids remember that when they look at those 3 crosses, they can remember how God loves us and kept his promise to send a rescuer. If you have a pretty day outside and want to take kids outside, you could take your chalk outside, and you can also draw outside on the sidewalks or on the ground around wherever you are at your location, if that works for you. But what we want kids to see in our story today is that Jesus' obedience through dying on the cross the way he did was all for us so that we could have right relationship with God. And when we believe that Jesus was the one who did that and that he needed to come and do that for us, then we can when we believe that Jesus is that person, then we can have life with God forever. And that you may want to give some of your kiddos the chance to talk about that and believe that for the first time. If they do, when they profess that to you, encourage them to talk to their family. You may have some 4-year-olds who are almost kindergartners who are ready to really have that conversation. And so go ahead and begin that conversation with them. It's not going to hurt anything. Encourage them to have that conversation with their family as well, because families are going to want to be a part of that decision for each kiddo. We also have some coloring pages if you need something to spend a little extra time. Thank you so much for leading kids and loving them. Happy Easter. I look forward to seeing you guys soon.